and you can see there the 3 race birds in the milling area, and again, utilizing this sailing style of start, and you get in, you can see the countdown there, 17, 16. Now they will start making their move to that start line and starting to build up some speed, trying to time it perfectly.
Westbrook Racing.
Yeah, look at this. Got that momentum going. Boy, this is going to be really close when they get there side by side. We are bows out and racing. And a great launch there by Saud. It looked for a minute like Sara was going to be able to get it done, and Saud timed it to perfection. But now drops back just a little bit here. This is going to be fascinating to watch. And Phelim Kavanagh is the one who was gone right with Sara. I think Saud just went a little too early and had to check up.
Yeah, I think that's the case. And now this is going to be an interesting battle into that first, as we were just talking about then, those 3 corners at the top of the circuit. Who gets the best line? It's Westbrook Racing that have taken the best line. Now, keeping that minimum speed nice and balanced throughout these 3 corners and then getting back on the power for the straight. Maybe the use of boost if they haven't left. It looks like that's going to be on the next lap. This is a crucial moment in the lap.
It really is, because it sort of sets the stage, and just a superb job on that launch by Sara Price, timing it. Look at Saud now trying to get out of the wake, running a little wider line behind Phelim Kavanagh to try and build speed. There's Lucas Ordonez, who is the second driver, if you will, for the Westbrook Racing team. That beautiful red race bird out front here. Then the multicolored one. Look at this. Kavanagh is starting to feel a little bit of pressure, and what a move by Saud. He turned in and then cut to the right hard to get back on some nice smooth water. He is doing everything he can to find a way into this second spot.
Potentially seeing a rinse and repeat of what we almost saw in the last race here. You know, having that first boat getting out into the lead and having so much clean, clear water to be able to maximize performance on, whilst the others 2 have to race each other, maybe cause themselves a bit of trouble. And exactly what we're seeing, these beautiful shots here of close electric 4 racing. This is amazing.
And look at this. Now you can see that we had just seen Saud had gone onto the boost and had opened up that little margin. Now he's in the cool down, but it was enough to put him in front of Phelim Kavanagh. And this is a superb battle going on. Meanwhile, Sara Price, after 1 lap, has opened up a lead of about 8 seconds. And as you said, this is reminiscent of what Coleman did here. And at this stage, Phelim has to figure it out. There you can see the gap as Sara already up into that sequence of corners here, as you said, on the high side of the course.
The overtake we just saw there from Sara Ahmed for Overtaking Racing, it did exactly what it needed to do. It get into the better position, get on the racing line, and then just cause all this turbulent wake behind him to cause Phelim all sorts of problems. And now, as a result, he's thought, you know, I lost so much time there, I may as well do the long lap now and get a better run at this next straight.
Well, and that's the thing, is that sometimes if you lost that time, if you go to the long lap, you come out of it now, and with that deficit that you get, you've got clear water again, smooth. You can let it fly a little bit and hopefully make up that time. But what really impressed me there was Saud, that read coming through that right-hander, when he cut in behind, popped right off to that right side, got into some clear water, and then just ran that outside line and just carried so much speed. And right now, Saud, he has turned the fastest first sector of anyone in this race. So he is starting to really find some speed. And that margin has been cut down by 8, from 8 seconds to 5.5. So he is on the move.
I mean, there are also the other elements there, potentially choice of prop, which has a bit of a difference in terms of acceleration versus top speed. So getting that right, and if you get a bit of a lead like we've seen with Westbrook, like we saw with Brady in the last race, that prop decision, that prop choice can go a long way too. Absolutely, and you saw points are awarded for each position, finishing position here in these semifinals, and after both of these semifinal groups have run, they're tallied, and that determines who goes straight to the final, who goes to the playoff, and who goes to the place race, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. But right now, Saud doing an absolutely stellar job. That margin, Sara has been able to open it up just a little bit again, and I think that's why Saud said, well, let's do the long lap, get me back into some clean water, and hopefully, you know, from his standpoint, he wants to make pace up by doing that. And there's Lucas going, yeah, look at that, I love that, the questioning, what's going on here at this stage? And at some point, Sara's got to do that long lap. Exactly, and that's the thing, you want to do it in the perfect opportunity where you're not going to lose too much time. And I think if I'm Phelim Kavanagh now, I'm looking at trying to make up as much time now, get really onto the back, not too much into the weight, but start bridging the gap, so when they do have to do that long lap, really maximize that opportunity. Well, and that's what I'm kind of curious about. When Phelim saw Saud use that outside line
and be able to match his pace just because it wasn't as tight of a corner, do you start thinking about, well, maybe I need to open up some of these angles and just let this thing have its head just a bit here? You know, you've got to react to what you're seeing drivers, the other pilots doing, and if they're going quicker than you, learn from them, right?
Yeah, being caught up in all of the wake and having to battle with someone is only ever going to slow you down. It's going to slow both of you down. So there is an element of, you know what, I've just lost this position. Let's create some clean air and let's try to build up some pace here. Use the long lap, put myself into an advantageous position, and hopefully try and bridge the gap, which is what he's trying to do now. He's still a little bit off the pace, but Team Westbrook are just flying out into the lead. It has to be said how impressive they've been so far in this championship since joining.
And look, you see on the graphic there, it says Westbrook, and then in red, boost on. And what happens, you get every minute, you get 20 seconds of boost. So when you boost, you get 20 seconds, you have to wait 40 seconds, and then you get it back again. And Sara has been very judicious in how she's using that. And the last time by, her margin was 20 seconds. That's enough for her to do that long lap and still be able to come out in front. And you just have to get it done before the checker flag comes out. And so she's waiting until late, and why not? She has a really smooth race course relative to most everybody else. And I've been just really impressed with how she's kept that up on the foil, and that the underside of that craft has not been slapping the water. And folks, because there's no engine sound, you can hear, and anytime you hear those thumps, that's when that hull is smashing into the water. That slows you down immensely. And look at this, she's just kept it up on the floor. It's just really, really beautiful what she's doing.
It's really, really well balanced. You know, it's smooth on the foil, like you're saying. You're not seeing too much yawing. You're not seeing that the boat almost move on its angle left and right, like it's being pushed left and right. And that just shows you that's a good setup. That's not putting the foils too high out of the water where they can catch the water, catch drag, and throw you off center.
And I was going to ask you, yesterday in qualifying, we were seeing trim, oftentimes trims over 1 or under -1. She's just keeping that. I've never seen it. Well, just there for the first time, it went up and over 5.
Yeah, trim definitely lower than it was yesterday, and I think that's because the conditions are slightly calmer today.
Right.
They're trying to keep that nose out of the water yesterday by having a slightly higher trim. We saw some, pushing almost up to 2 in yesterday's qualifying. But yeah, Sara Price just kind of balancing around that 0.3 up to 0.5 mark. So slightly favouring a higher trim, therefore kind of making the boat go, the nose of the boat go lower in the water and creating that centre of gravity, nice stability, and doing exactly what she's doing, which is keeping a calm run.
And look at this, she's completing her long lap, and she's got a sizable margin still in hand over Saud Ahmed as she comes through the merge. And he has got a really nice handle on second spot right now, as Saud has about 15 seconds in hand over Phelim Kavanagh. But wow, what an absolutely stellar run Sara is putting in here. Phenomenal performance for Westbrook Racing. Will Smith, you're pretty sure he's watching somewhere, and he's probably really enthralled right now. And look at that, just a little hint of a grin there. I think she's going, this is what this should feel like.
I think here both the team and Will, as the team owner, will be very, very happy with this, especially just hitting the ground running in this championship. When the odds are stacked against you, there's no powerboat, no watercraft experience, and coming in from the worlds of rally, coming in from the worlds of track racing, and just doing very, very well indeed.
And came in their first race after they missed Jeddah, podiumed. Overall, look at Lucas. He is absolutely delighted here, and she has come through and takes that win. What a run by Westbrook Racing and Sara Price. Watching here, Saud Ahmed, as he is coming around trying to complete. And make a note of this, Sara's best lap was a 37, her long lap was a 45, so that's 13 seconds thereabouts for that long lap, an additional 13 seconds.